This may seem like a random assortment of items here on these stone tiles, but in fact, these are Ponytown's most popular memes. Starting over here on the very far left, we have these red jars of what is supposed to be jam, but it is commonly known around the Ponytown community that these are actually just blood jars. That's right, they're jars filled with blood and nothing else. This actually fits very perfectly with the sprite. It actually does look like a clump of just blood that's just been put into a jar of some kind. And if you actually use some firefly lanterns, one moment, if I can grab those real quick, you can actually put those inside of them like so, and it even looks more like some kind of blood jar. It looks like not only is it a blood jar, but there's some kind of soul trapped inside of it. These are commonly used in some very more darker kinds of builds and things like that, some more sinister builds, if you will. Next to that is another, of course, these bags of seed. Ponytown would have you believe that these are nothing more than just a bag of seeds. That's right, it's just supposed to be a bag of seeds, but in fact, Ponytown knows them more so as a bag of drugs. I don't really know how this started, to be honest with you. I guess it's just because it's just a blank bag and it looks kind of like it could be basically anything you want. Like, could be drugs in there. It could be some takeout from like your favorite restaurant or something like that, or it could be a bag of seeds. More power to you, but it's most commonly known as a little bag of drugs. Speaking of drugs, there's some blue crystals here. Again, Ponytown would have you believe these are nothing more than some crystals that may or may not have some sort of magical properties to them, but they are definitely referred to as crystal meth here in the Ponytown community. They're very well known as meth in the Ponytown community because of the crystal meth thing there. So you could have an entire cart of crystal meth if you wanted to. I'm not one to judge, but you definitely should not do drugs. Speaking of which, speaking of things you shouldn't do, here is a little Fez plushie and a little other smaller Fez plushie. These are obviously just plushies, but they're commonly used in very meme-like ways. For example, sometimes you would have this Fez stranded on a boat somewhere in the middle of a lake or an ocean or something like that on your island. But also, sometimes you'll just want to burn them alive in a fireplace or tuck them away in bed. And one of the most common uses, of course, is a ritual. That's right. You can sacrifice the Fez, just get some candles and circle him there and an upside down star pattern, and boom, there you go. You're sacrificing Fez to something. I don't know what you're sacrificing him to, but you're sacrificing him to something. So as you can see, this Fez plushie is used in a lot of meme ways. There's not like a specific thing that this is referred to as other than just child or something, but it is very commonly used in some very meme ways. So there you go. There's that one. So let's move on to this one here. Some baguettes. Ponytown would have you believe these are nothing more than some baguettes, some French. We added some French culture here to Ponytown, but in reality, these are nothing more than a status symbol. A status symbol of bread. It's a bread status symbol. What I mean by that is people commonly use these as a bread line. They like to get a bunch of these baguettes, they like to get a bunch of different players, and they will sit usually somewhere near the bakery and make some kind of bread line, like so. They'll just sit like this, and then another player will sit next to them with another piece of bread, and so on and so on and so on. And that's kind of more or less what the meme is of this one. It's not really used for anything else other than the fact that it's just bread, and that's a little bit funny for whatever reason. But yeah, the longer your bread line is, the more status and power you have, and that's kind of the meme that this empowers, that this bread has, I guess, is the way to go about that. And next up, we have some knives. These knives are very commonly used as, well, just murder weapons, really. I mean, that's pretty much it. This one's actually what it is. Like, this one is the only one that is what it is, if that makes sense. It is literally just a knife that you can use to murder people, stab people, or threaten people. Maybe you want to rob the bakery or the marketplace or something like that. Boom, there you go. You can do it. Just get yourself a knife and go up to someone and be like, give me all your bits, or give me that banana, and then they might give it to you because you're robbing them at knife point. So yeah, it's a meme, but it is kind of just a knife at the end of the day. And last but not least, we have the sparklers. Ponytown would have you believe that these are nothing more than sparklers. You can pick them up and, ooh, look at that, we're waving it around. Look at that, we're celebrating some kind of event or something because it's a sparkler, and that's what you use sparklers for, I guess. But a lot of people like to use them as cigarettes. Again, a little darker element there to it, but it's more commonly referred to as a cigarette. Usually people will call it a sparkler, but usually half the time they're calling it a cigarette, especially if you pick up one of the white ones. It looks even more like a cigarette, and I don't know how intentional this was. I'm sure it's not intentional, but it kind of looks like a cigarette a little bit. Don't smoke. Yeah, that's going to do it for the video, I guess. I don't have any more, but if there is any more and I missed any, let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely get to them eventually. Maybe I'll make a little short video or something like that referring to that one and what it actually means and stuff like that. But yeah, these are some of the most common Ponytown memes that you'll see associated with specific items. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.